So my wife asked me, hey, how come you never ever listen to anything I say? And I told her, for some people love is blind. For me, my love is deaf. That's a comedian's worst nightmare. And you spend all this time writing this joke and you go on stage to perform it and nobody laughs. As if you've got a stage to perform on in the first place. And all that self-doubt that follows. And that moment on stage just feels like an eternity. Right? So that's 2 nightmares in a row. I won't lie, okay, there's this pandemic and this partial lockdown, it's messed up my body clock, it's messed up my brain a little bit. That's a real fear for comedians, like what if we wake up one day and realize that we're not funny anymore? And now it's even more difficult because we don't have a space that we can go and perform to a live audience to. Then again, I never really planned to be a comedian, right? I mean, it's not something you grow up thinking about in Singapore, right? I actually trained in production. I've pulled cables at basketball games. I've been scolded by my camera team multiple times for being a useless camera assistant. So one day someone said, hey, why don't you jump in front of the camera and do some presenting? And then they realized that, I was more effective there. And that's how this whole on-camera take started. I started doing more live hosting work. I started performing at weddings. I started hosting live D&Ds, acting on stage, presenting for camera. And then comedy happened. Sometime in 2011. I did a stand-up at the Home Club for this open mic night called Comedy Masala, and I genuinely got addicted to laughter. And I've been really lucky to perform all over the world, tell jokes in Singapore and other parts of the world as well. And I can't wait till one day I'm able to perform to a live audience again, really. Hello. Okay, look, I get it, okay? There's a pandemic, there's no live shows, there's no audience. Okay, life is difficult, okay? What are you gonna do about it, huh? So, do you always start your day with a hot shower or
Yes, and then I'm gonna brush my teeth and then I'm gonna take a dump and I'm gonna drink some coffee, I'm gonna read the news and I'm gonna do some writing alone.
Writing alone? That sounds kind of lonely, doesn't it? No. Actually, you know what? It's kind of peaceful. Oh, hey, relax, bro. No need to get so passive-aggressive, okay? I get it. I'll leave you alone. Thank you. Very early on in my stand-up comedy career, I was doing this really rough gig, really tough show. People were disruptive and making noise and drunk, and I was dealing with it in a very positive manner. Like, if people would heckle me, they wouldn't be able to faze me. I would retort and put down the heckles in a very positive way. And one of the international comedians, a British comedian, came to me and said that it's really cool that I was always doing the comedy of positivity. I do the jokes that I feel I want to do. I tell the stories I feel I want to tell. I make the points that I feel I want to make. And if someone gets angry, they do, but it's not deliberately meant to piss anyone off. And I think I've tried to use that as a mantra in life as well, So when the COVID-19 pandemic hit, I figured there's 2 ways to look at it. One, I could struggle, whine, complain, and then do nothing about it. Or I could struggle, whine, complain, and actually take action. So I started something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I started doing my own online news comedy show called The Rishi Report. I have this mug right here. Can you see that? Yeah. A bit of product placement. It's an online news comedy show, and I had to learn the new technology, right? To buy the. And suddenly I was able to do live streaming of comedy and everything. So it's been tough, but it's been fun. And I think I've also been able to share some knowledge and learn a lot from the other comedians in Singapore who've also been working hard and hustling. Together we all decided that, hey, there's no point sitting around waiting. You can't just sit down and wait for things to go back to normal. I even did my first ever live virtual stand-up comedy special. Yeah, it's called Dishing Out the Jokes. So I stand in my kitchen and I wash some dishes and I tell some jokes along the way. Of course, it's not the same as being in a comedy club, You make a lot of trade-offs. You trade the sound of a live audience's laughter for just little faces on your computer screen, bobbing up and down, smiling. You trade it for people watching from their own living rooms, from their own bedrooms, in some cases from their own toilets as well. But one thing stays the same. As a comedian, I still bring the jokes, and it still makes me happy to be able to make the audience happy. And it still makes me very, very alive to be able to connect with real human beings. Yeah. Can't wait to go back on stage, but if that never happens, then I think I've got to be ready for anything. I'm going to write that down. It's not really comedy, but sometimes the audience likes serious stuff as well.